Everyone, today is the day. We have to present this to our CEO for our project to be approved.
The CEO has arrived. Please start the presentation.
The process model is quite simple. It is used to describe business activities and their relationships. The primary purpose of this is to facilitate discovery of information needs within the enterprise. It contains three clearly recognizable elements, and these are the inputs of the process, outputs of the process, and lastly, the process core task. The process orientation helps the organization identifying all the inputs, documenting them, and having control over the quality of the product by having control over all the inputs and the process parameters. Any product manufacturing or service preparation and delivery can be modeled in this manner. A little analysis of every process will bring out clearly all the three elements.
Now, let's talk about the input and output of the process. Our input are the resources we invested in accomplishing our task. For example, is the raw materials we usually use. This includes our bill and the specification of the materials, our requirement for inspection, and lastly, our procedure for the receipt of materials. While the output is obviously our accomplishment itself or the outcome, it consists of our products, services, or even documents to be delivered, and its specification, and even the method of measurement for verifying conformance to the specification, and lastly, the criteria for acceptance or rejection. In simple words, input is the things we put into the system, while the process is what happens to make the system work, and lastly, the output is what the system creates.
EDX model is the most popular process model. It helps in identifying the current status of the process and taking action for further improvement continuously. EDX stands for Entry, Task, and Exit. The value-adding process is called Task. The new items in the diagram are called Entry and Exit. Entry is the condition to be satisfied before the task is undertaken, and Exit is the condition to be fulfilled before the task is considered as complete.
Subburash established the 6S model for process improvement. The first three phases of this model are study, streamline, and simplify. The first phase is a study, and it is believed that the performance of the processes drives the improvement of the organization. With this, it is vital to extensively study the procedures and their intricacies in order to establish and improve appropriate processes. Furthermore, the streamline phase requires that all processes be the least resistant to motion and not generate any further delay or problems. Therefore, it is important to initially document every detail and sequence in order to determine and eliminate the unnecessary or non-value activities. With this, the organization will achieve streamlined operations, which will lead to increased effectiveness and efficiency. Next is the simplify phase. It is important since it is believed that simplifying improves quality. This can be accomplished through careful analysis and planning. Consequently, certain work processes can also be reduced and simplified. Indeed, simplified procedures can prevent the cost from increasing without sacrificing quality. And these three phases are just a glimpse of all of the phases that are required to improve processes within the organization.
Processes should be improved continuously. The other three phases of Subburaja's 6S model for process improvement are standardize, synergize, and strengthen. Under the standardized phase, the process should be documented in any form that is appropriate for employees. Standardizations allows performing the process in the same way by every employee at all times. Furthermore, the synergized phase emphasizes that no process is a standalone activity in any organization. A process may interact with at least two other processes, the customer process and the supplier process. The impact of revising should be checked and analyzed. The customer and supplier processes should be adjusted if needed and documented. Moreover, during the strengthened phase, many activities are carried out. First is educating and convincing the process owners, customers, and suppliers. The second is periodic counseling and assuring that the new process will perform better than the old process. And lastly, monitoring the results and confirming that the process transition has occurred. To conclude, numerous organizations and individuals have benefited by practicing this model. However, it should be noted that process improvement aims to eliminate inefficiencies and improve organizations' effectiveness.
Supply chain management. Supply chain management is the management of the movement of goods and services which covers all procedures that transform raw materials into finished products. It is the duty of optimizing all activities throughout the supply chain so that the proper amount and quality of products and services are delivered to the right client at the right time and at the best price possible. It contains the following activities. 1. Demand planning. 2. Manufacturing planning and scheduling. 3. Supply planning, and lastly 4. Transportation planning. Let's first discuss demand planning. Demand planning is the practice of forecasting demand for a product or service in order to deliver it more efficiently and to customer satisfaction. Demand planning is regarded as an important step in supply chain planning.
Let us move on to the supply planning. It is the procedure for meeting consumer demand based on inventory and transportation resources. This includes distribution requirement planning or DRP, which is responsible for replenishing inventory at branch warehouses. By considering maintenance and stock policies, production and sourcing characteristics, best practices for supply planning, create a supply structure that effectively and efficiently meets demand. Supply planning determines how to best meet the demands generated by the demand plan. The goal is to strike balance between supply and demand that meets the company's financial and service goals. And for the transportation planning, a procedure for scheduling, loading and delivering items to clients while taking into account constraints such as delivery date, mode of transportation, carrier, and so on. Transportation is the movement of goods from one side to another as they make their way from the start of a supply chain to the end user. This necessitates a fresh perspective on the transportation supply chain, which includes supply chain management, logistics, and procurement. When you consider more holistically about transportation's position in the broader supply chain and business, rather than just about transportation strategies, you may more effectively collaborate with other supply chain stakeholders to achieve the corporate and business goal your company has set out to achieve.
Kanban is one of the lean tools designed to reduce idle time in the production process. The main idea behind the Kanban system is to deliver what the process needs exactly when it's needed. So what is Kanban? In Japanese, the word kan means visual and bans means card. So Kanban refers to visual cards. Lean uses visual card as a signaling system that triggers an action to supply the process when it's needed, either from external supplier or from a warehouse. Here's how Kanban works. The most common form is a card with the data printed on it. The card can vary in shape, size, and content, and sometimes replaced by other devices such as golf balls. Over the years, the concept has developed into more modern forms like emails, sensors, electronic dashboards, and so on.
Let's proceed to cellular manufacturing, which is the most used manufacturing approach and a production layout designed to support manufacturers that produce smaller batches. Equipments, machines, tools, and workstations are organized in these cells to accommodate an optimum continuous production flow. In addition, all actions required to manufacture a product for a consumer are carried out in close proximity in a cell wherein it benefits in cost saving, time compression, and inventory reduction. The work cell is a work unit larger than individual machine that employs 3 to 12 people and 5 to 15 workstations in a compact arrangement. Through cellular manufacturing, several advantages are seen such as improved quality and reduced rework costs. Thus, cellular manufacturing and work cells are at the heart of lean manufacturing.
Here now will be presenting about single-piece flow. One-piece flow, sometimes called continuous flow or single-piece flow, is a lean manufacturing concept that aims to establish a discrete flow of work in contrast to the typical mass production strategy. In mass production, materials move through the manufacturing process in batches, which can be highly inefficient. In one-piece flow, a product is completed before the next one is started. It is typically used in lean organizations and will help businesses achieve just-in-time production. In simple terms, single-piece flow means that parts are transported through the facility with little or no waiting time and that products are moved through processes effectively. Single-piece flow is more efficient in general, as it reduces the quantity of work in progress and eliminates blockages. It is the concept of only processing and producing what the customer wants, successfully reducing the possibility of excess production.
Congratulations everyone for a very successful presentation.